I didn't think hiring was going to be such a pain. Having that high standard, and then realizing that nobody's going to care as much as you do. It's impossible. Nobody will. It sucked. It really sucked.
Hey, welcome to the Tradies Success Podcast. On this podcast, you're going to hear real life stories from trade business owners to minimize the mistakes you're going to make, maximize profit, create more time freedom, and minimize emotional overwhelm. So hit subscribe and follow us now and enjoy the episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Tradies Success Podcast. Here today with Mark Van Ostrom from Clear Coast Plumbing in New South Wales. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thanks, Greg. Cheers, mate.
Man, we're going to be talking about a lot around team and culture and personal development to secure a really great team that supports you as a business owner today. And I'm really excited to share your journey. But before we jump into all of that, I'd love to just hear what got you into the plumbing industry in the first place?
Yeah, so it's actually my great grandfather was the president of Master Plumbers back in the late 1800s, and then my grandfather also was the president of Master Plumbers. So I was pretty tight with my nana, and she was a tough lady and loves tradies. So just thought about plumbing, did some work experience, and loved it, and started when I was 15 and been going ever since.
Man, you must have heard some interesting stories of the way they did plumbing back in the day. I've seen some videos around 1950s where they were using lead for welding and stuff like this. What's some stuff that you heard from your grandparents around plumbing back in the day?
Well, not heaps, just through my nana, but I've gotten some memorabilia from back then. I've actually got it right here. Some stuff from like a little medallion from back in the day. And they had some old welding material and stuff that they had on their shelves, like an old little oxy torch from over 100 years ago, made out of copper, which is pretty cool. But yeah, just not too much. But yeah, they used to always talk about me being a tradie, and yeah, the oldies love a tradie.
Yeah, they do. And it's interesting how these little things get planted as you're a kid growing up, and you hear about, what it's like to be in a certain trade. And my brother and my two nephews, his sons are all plumbers now and living down in Margaret River in Western Australia. And I've grew up around the plumbing trade. For school holidays, I was out doing plumbing with my brother, before he did that, before I finished school. So that was, loved just getting out there and digging holes and getting dirty and like just being physical and out doing some work. So
yeah,
what's been the most fulfilling part of plumbing for you?
Being able to work for myself. That was always the goal from when I started. Love getting out there, moving around, not being stuck in the same spot. Working with guys that you can get along with, and just being able to end up working for myself and having my own business is really the main part, which I always look forward to. And here now and trying to grow, and that's basically it.
Awesome, man. So what was like, obviously we all have this idea of what running a business is like. For you, when you were doing your plumbing trade, how long were you a tradesperson before you started a business? And what did you think business was going to be like compared to what it is like?
I've been plumbing, it's 6 years before you can work for yourself. I did 4 years in maintenance and then did some commercial stuff to cover all areas. I always did, started off doing stuff on the side and for a while, but really took the jump properly, probably after about nine years of being a tradie, 9 or 10 years. And just worked for myself for a little bit, got a good contract for the water filtration company, which kicked me off. And then hiring, I didn't think hiring was going to be such a pain. I thought I was going to get a couple good plumbers in, and just it's going to be a breeze. But finding the work wasn't the hard part. It was, being able to say yes to everyone and keep a high standard and be able to, be there when I said I was going to be there and stuff, and doing it yourself, you just couldn't keep up with it. So hiring was definitely something I didn't realize was going to be such a hard part of the business.
Yeah, there's one thing I've learned is, tradies are known for being late and being, not able to show up to the job or not getting back to a quote and all of these things. Something I've learned, obviously working with so many tradies, is 90+%, I'd say, it's not from negligence. It's not from they don't care. It's just because it's so overwhelming when you're trying to run the business and you've got no strategies or systems to be able to put staff on and allow those staff to work at the standard that you expect, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I've learned is tradespeople in business usually have an exceptionally high standard for themselves, but that's where a lot of the fear around hiring, stops people from hiring people. And when they try, they're like, nah, this isn't going to work. I'll just do it myself. Yeah. So we hear this a lot, right? So what was it like for you putting on your first couple of staff members? What was going through your mind maybe when they were making mistakes?
Yeah. Well, I started off with I had some subbies helping me out. They took the workload off. But, the standard wasn't there. It was getting in, getting out. I just couldn't do that. And then, having tradesmen on and not being awkward about asking the right questions when hiring. That kind of was probably an issue of mine. Just, trying to give everyone a go. And then, having that high standard, and then realizing that nobody's going to care as much as you do. It's impossible. Nobody will. But it was really hard. It sucked. It really sucked until I just had to keep going and keep trying. And I went through a few and, learning how to actually be a boss and not expecting the world, but, helping out where I can to help them do what they need to do was a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you walk us through your first hire? Because, obviously when you start your business, you get to a point where you're like, I just can't keep up with the workload here. And you finally make the jump to hire someone. What was going through your head on that first hire, or first tradesperson hire? And talk us through that experience for you.
Yeah. So my first one was, from Seek. He was a lovely bloke. First time he came over, I did the interview in my backyard. Had a beer with him. It was just not the right way to hire somebody. Yeah, had a beer with him, had a chat with him. He was an absolute legend of a guy, but I didn't really look too far into it. I liked the guy. I was like, we're going to get along. Come on board. He had a different trade background from the Air Force. So I was just like, yeah, this guy's going to be disciplined, rock up. He was very punctual. Everything was good, but he just wasn't much chop on the tools. So, I had to go with him and try to work with him and help everything out, but everything was really a struggle. And I had in my mind, am I expecting too much and stuff? But ended up realizing that when I looked back at when I hired him, I didn't ask the right stuff. He just didn't have enough experience in the type of work we were doing. So I had him for a few months. He was on. He was great. Did nothing wrong or anything. But just he ended up leaving, and just after that, he was probably my longest staff member I had for the first year, and that was 2 or 3 months, and then it just was downhill from there for a while.
All right. I'm excited to dig into this this journey over the year and find out what that experience was like for you. Before we do, I want to jump into some really important things you said, because I did the same as you, man. I hired on feel. Yeah, that's a great person. Great person should be great. Should be great for our culture because they're a nice person. But for so long, I didn't know why we weren't making money. I was constantly on people's backs, not because I thought, I was too hard of a boss, just because I expected a certain standard, and that they weren't trained to be able to do it at the standard I want. And at the same time, I was so busy that I wasn't able to provide the training and support, because as a busy small business owner, you're still so busy even after you hire someone, because you've got all the other roles you're working in. So that must have been a similar experience for you, where you get them out there, but they're not able to execute the jobs at the same speed and the same way that you would, and it costs you a lot of money, compoundingly, actually. So what would you have asked differently now knowing what you know? Or how would you have done the whole interview different? Yeah.
Well, yeah, not in my backyard with a beer. More experience. I think it would have gone back to before even the actual interview. It would have been, I would have looked at their experience a lot more. I would have asked more questions on the ad that I posted. Like going from the first ad I posted, getting 7 applicants in a month, to now I've got one up there, and I think I've had 70 in 2 weeks. Getting the job role, getting the application, process done properly probably would be even more. And then just asking experience. What type of plumbing you've done, and how much have you worked by yourself, and a lot more questions about experience, because the culture thing, I guess you kind of get an idea of if you can have a chat with them and whatever. That's great for the culture, but you also need to be able to do what you're paid to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the culture is gone if they can't do what they do, right? So if you can't rely on someone to get the job done, you're going to be calling up saying, hey, I need you to do it this way, over and over and over and over. And that destroys culture. It makes them feel upset. It makes them feel incompetent, which they are at that point. But then at the same time, you don't have the time as a small business to train them and get them up to the standard you need. And that takes years. Yeah. That's cool, man. And that's the whole point, right? That's, what we teach in the academy is around how to filtrate from the application stage. So you don't need to have interviews with people that aren't competent. You're able to really almost get them to self-disqualify from the process because they're not what you need. And then, I've been saying a lot lately, is bait the hook to catch the fish. So you got to put the right bait in your ad to get the right people to bite the bait, and then you have a conversation from there. Would you say that's what you've learned?
Yeah, that's been the difference. Yeah. Well, especially like in the incubator stage of TSA, we did a lot about there was a lot in there about building the C card and a lot about that. And that's gone from just 6 months before I was with Tradies Success Academy, getting that 7 applicants or whatever, to now. I'd love to check it. I don't know. We've still got an ad live now, and I think 70 applicants in 2 weeks. And then now I've got an ops manager on, and she's gone through and sent out a jot form to all applicants that we're interested in. And, out of 70, there might've been 40 that we're interested in. Sent out a jot form, which TSA helped us with. Asking the right questions, in Seek, it doesn't ask all the questions you want, and nailing it down. And now we've gotten down to 8 or 10 that are really strong potential hires. And, it saves me all that time. And now we're asking the right questions, and it's going to save us so much money in the long run, because having a bad hire is just so expensive. It's so expensive having a bad hire. So following all those steps, it's a game changer. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it is. If you really drill down into how expensive a bad hire is, first of all, you've got to spend time training someone that's not competent. So that's your time not doing like higher impact tasks within the business. So you're distracted effectively. Then they go out and they can't do the job properly. So you're distracted with their calls throughout the day. I had a call with a member the other day where they were just like, I'm getting like 30 calls a day from one of my tradies. They call me for literally everything. And I said, man, you can go and do it yourself and I'll back you. Like, just don't call me anymore all the time. Just try your best. And then if you know, we'll find out if you're not getting it done. And he still kept calling him, which is distraction, right? Like, it's more distraction. And then there's the inefficiency. They can't do it at the speed you need. So then you get invoice complaints. You get, you know, upset customers because they see they're not competent. And usually people like that are fumbling and saying that they don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. So there's reputational risk. There's so much, isn't there?
So with the clients, it's terrible. You can't have that.
Yeah. And then the impact of then you spend all that time to try and get them up to speed, and then you have to let them go anyway. And then you have to start again. And then it's just crazy to think about how much money it costs. So I'd love to move forward now into your year of hiring. So throughout this journey, we're going to talk about the next couple of hires and what went wrong, you know, what we could have done differently and what you've learned since. So talk us through what happened next. So that guy stayed for about 4 months. You had to let him go, or he left. And then what happened?
Yeah, I kept trying. I didn't change anything. I just kept trying to hire. I think I got my second tradie on while he was there still, from memory. I've kind of tried to blank some of it out. So, and then I had some guys just come and go, like 2-3 weeks. I was really busy. I wasn't changing anything in my hiring process. I just was like, I need help. I had a few subbies who I was trying to get to help me, but they were doing their own thing, and good guys, but just, you know, just subbies. You need full time. I had some guys that were around for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, it takes you time to hire, and then you get them on. You're babysitting them for a couple of weeks, and then they're gone. So that was a bad process for like a solid year, maybe 9 months to a year. It was terrible. Just in and out until I found the guy that worked for the first boss that I worked for, and it all started to work out well from there.
It's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like possible.
Yeah,
there must have been very so close much
to giving up.
I was going to say there must have been so much going through your mind over that year. Like, is it me? Like, what's happening? Is it even possible to hire people? Could you talk us through some of the things you were thinking through that period?
Yeah. I was definitely thinking I could just make more money working for someone else. I could just go do my 7 or 3 somewhere else. I did not think it was going to be this hard. I think I got a bit of a bad run. It was my fault now that I look at it. Like, I did the wrong things when hiring, but I was very close to just giving it in and going and just closing up and just doing the cashies on the weekend and going to work for someone. But yeah, it was very disheartening. It was tough. It was tough. Just going back, it was so expensive. Going back to callbacks and losing clients, and just following people around, and
yeah. And then the fear of, like, even though you put someone on, the fear that they're going to keep making mistakes. Like, there's a bit of PTSD there where you, like, if it's anything like me, I remember the same feeling. It's like, can I trust that I can send them to any jobs anymore? You know, are they going to keep making that mistake? Have they learnt their lesson? So yeah, I get it. So what changed though? So over that year for you, you said that, no, in reflection, it was you. What changed?
I'd love to pinpoint it down to something. I had another. I had a young fella working for me towards the end of that same year. He stuck around for a while. He had the world's worst attitude of anyone. I was getting clients calling me like saying, "Get this guy off out of my house." Like he was like, and then I went to over Christmas 2 years ago. We went to Europe, and he quit on me. What he was my only guy, and he had 3 days in early January to work without me before I got back, and he quit. I remember where I was. It was 11 p.m. over there or something. He called up and he quit, and I came back, and I was just like, "No, no, I'm not doing this." Then I put out the ad for. I think it was just luck, really. I just keep trying. I just kept trying. I worked on my ad. I definitely worked on my ad, and then it was luck when I found Jordan, who's been with me for a year and a half now. It was luck and just perseverance. I was like, I'm just going to give it another go. I knew I'd never work for somebody. Like I knew I always had to keep trying, but it was a bit of luck.
Well, it's almost like it's like flipping a coin, right? Like you're always going to have a similar percentage of success rate, 50% in a coin when you flick it and it lands, and it's either heads or tails. So it would be a bad hire or a good hire. Whatever that percentage is, if you've got the same ad out there, you've got the same approach, you've got the same interviewing process, there's a win rate percentage that you're going to have, and there's a lose rate. And when it's not done well, you got this huge percentage of lose rate where you're going to hire the wrong person more likely. And then the better you get at the process, that just closes up and it becomes more of a win rate. Like it's heavily weighted into your favor because you won't hire someone that's a bad hire because you've got the right process in place. So has that been what you've experienced since?
Yeah. Well, once Jordan started, January, February last year. Brought in a lot. It gave me a lot more hope. We get along really well. He's a really good guy. Great plumber. He learnt from the same guy I learnt from, who was also a legend. The good morals, everything. And then he recommended somebody from that he went to TAFE with. Same thing. He's an absolute legend. He's fit in perfectly. They're both really hard workers. I've also worked on ways to keep people around after losing so many people, and we started doing the 4-day weeks, 4 10-hour days. That kept them along. They all seemed happy, and I think just having the positive and having him be there. I always knew I just need to get one guy that I can get on, who's going to help me get to that good second guy, who's then going to give me time, so then I can find the good third guy. And then since then, it's been fantastic. Had another hire, so that was the 2, and then had Jaden start, and he's been over a year now, and he's an absolute gun. I've recently put him up to a leading hand role in the business, and he's a weapon. He's a weapon. It's worked really well since, and now I think I've had 5 or 6 good hires in a row since that one good. So I had 8 or 10 bad hires to start, and then I think I've had 6 good hires in a row. So it's come around. It's come around. The coins worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your appreciation for good staff must be through the roof, because to go through that level of adversity to begin with must have been quite the journey to overcome. And, I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad that you've been able to push through that. And since then, have an appreciation for the importance of, the way you hire. And that's obviously got you to where you are today. And you've just recently put your ops manager on. What sort of impact has that had over your business, do you feel?
How did I do it before?
Oh, yeah.
I was scared shitless. I was scared to do that. I did. Firstly, I didn't know what I was doing when I put on a tradie, and anyway, we got over that. We've got 4 great tradies now. And then I was thinking about getting like an admin role happening, and then it all fell into place. And Ellie's started with us as an ops manager a few months ago, and yeah, how do you run a business without her? Like it's insane. It's insane. The jump of doing that is, I feel like I've got to know my business, discover my business so much more now. Game changer.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what I really love is getting people up to that operational time freedom where you got the ops manager and you have that space to actually oversee the business and go, what's working, what's not. And the reason I'm so passionate about that is because I was the exact same, man. Like, just super stressed trying to put stuff on and always overwhelmed, always under the pump, whether we're way too busy or way too quiet. And it wasn't until we put the ops manager on, even though I could have done better at that even, but like even just having anyone in that space allowed me to go oversee everything and make improvements for the first time and realize, oh my God, I didn't realize we're losing so much over there, or, the team's doing that over there, or we could do this instead of that. And only when you get to that level that you can start to have this awareness that, that a general manager has overseeing it, the operation as a whole. And that's where you're at now. So you're feeling that really fresh and you've got that new level of freedom. What's it feel like? Like what's the big things that you've learnt since the last couple of months?
Well, yeah, I guess knowing my numbers a lot more, just knowing my business, like just not just seeing money come in, pay wages, everything like that. It's really stepping back and finding new avenues of work, nurturing the clients I already have, starting up my new business, just giving me time to do stuff that I need to do, which I didn't know I needed to do before.
Yeah. You had no awareness, right?
Like before TSA, I was running blind. Just as long as I was getting clients who were paying me and I was being able to pay my staff, I thought it was all good. But yeah, now having that time to be able to look into the business and know my costs and get projections of where we want to be. It's just I can't believe that I was doing it before. I don't know how. I do not know where the hours were before.
Yeah. Well, the ops manager role is still a doing role, like whereas when you jump up into general management, it's a leadership role where you're leading the team now. You're actually able to stand at the front of the ship and look out and go, where are we heading? And turn around and be like, guys, deckhand, I want you, captain, go and do that.
Yeah.
So you're able to really steer your company wherever you want to go. And the exciting is just in a couple of months, you're like, all right, here's an opportunity. We're jumping on it, new company, and you're moving into bathrooms. Can you share us a little bit of the experience about expanding your service into a new division?
Yeah, so I've always loved doing bathrooms. I love seeing the whole project start to finish. In plumbing, you don't really get to see a whole lot of pretty work at the end of the job. Maybe a nice new hot water heater or whatever, but most of your work gets hidden behind walls or underground.
It's nice to plumbers.
Yeah. So no, I love it. I love bathrooms. I love seeing the whole project. I love project managing. I love working with all different trades. Love working with different businesses who run businesses like mine, like working with Sparkies, Gyprockers, and waterproofers, tilers. They have finding trades with such high level of work that goes with my high level of work is really, really what I enjoy, because there's just so much love and passion from start to finish. It's easy to work with professionals, and then just seeing the client, working with clients, and start to finish. different designs, different styles, different layouts, different plans, different everything, different locations. We do everywhere. So it's been great. It's a real passion. I really enjoy doing it. And yeah, it's been great.
Cool. And how's it going so far? Like, you're still in the planning phases, or you're already getting some clients, or where you're at with it all?
Yeah. We've got some clients. We've got a few bathrooms. One I'm tidying up loose ends on at the Savo. One's finishing next week. We've had a few before I opened Clear Coast Bathrooms. We're doing a few bathrooms as well, just under Clear Coast Plumbing. It's been great. Yeah, really good. It's really good flow of work. It's good for the boys as well because, um, yeah, they've just got such a high quality of work. My guys, like it's just the attention to detail is really up there. So, and they love doing it. They get to do their drainage, their roughings, and then they get to do the fit off at the end of the bathroom and see such a transformation. And it's been great. It's great for us. It's been
Yeah.
great.
What a cool concept. It's like a micro build. It's like you don't have to do a whole renovation on a house, but it's just one small part that you already have wholesale, like to a big part of that, which is the plumbing. So all of your labor and all your materials you can sell to a client at wholesale, but have a project, like oversee the whole project, which is really exciting for your plumbers as well. Because like you said, the before and after photos must look awesome, and the team can go, that's us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's been
Awesome,
great.
man. Good stuff. So outside of expansion and growth and business, what's life been like for you? What do you love to do outside of work? Like by getting to this point, have you noticed a big difference in the way you show up at work? Now you've got an ops manager and you've got the team supporting you and who you are?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's been great. So being able to work wherever I want to work, be at home, running the business, me and my wife can get away for the weekend, and if we're away, I can take my computer with me and still do the work and have that freedom. We're going away next week to New Zealand for a week, so that's I've got the confidence now that Ellie can answer the phones and delegate, and Jaden as the new leading hand, he's going to be able to take control of things. It's going to be a good experience for them as well. But yeah, just having that confidence that I can go away, and if I need to, I could turn my phones off if I was going to. but yeah, it's definitely given me that freedom for sure.
Man, I still remember the first time going away, and I made it like an hour a day. Like, we were going away for quite a long time, but it was just an hour a day. I would log in, check over some stuff, and that was my day. And I'd go and be I think we were in Bali at the time. We went away for weeks. And I still remember I'd just check in for an hour, check in with the ops manager, business was running fine, do a couple of things, close off for the day, and spend a whole day in Bali. So it was like so easy to like stay on top of it, because like what we've just talked about in the academy just last week is the multiplier effect, and you're really sitting in that 10x sort of space of strategy. So 1 hour you could get 10 hours worth of impact done. So it's just like 1 hour of like your strategy can really define the direction and just steer the business in the right spot with so minimal time, and it allows you to have that flexibility to go traveling, working travel. We've got a couple of people that are actually traveling around Australia while they run their business at the moment. A couple of people overseas. So yeah, it's really awesome. And so yeah, excited to see how your New Zealand trip goes.
Yeah, me too.
So who are you showing up? Let's just talk like who you are when you're super stressed versus who you are when you've got the time, right? So stress, if it's anything to like that I've experienced or anyone I speak to, is usually to do with you've got no time, right? Stress comes from got no time to do whatever, or I've got no money, but I've got no money because I've got no time to whatever. So time is like the thing. So who are you when you've got no time? Like, how do you show up What's the bad side of Mark?
Oh, yeah, no, I, I don't handle stress very well. Yeah, I, yeah, I wish I could be a bit more chill. I'm definitely not. Just like recently, we're really busy. Looking at getting another vehicle on the road, and I was just on the phone to a dealer this morning trying to find another car because we're so busy again. So yeah, I get very stressed, and then I try not let it impact work, like impact and show in front of the guys, but it's hard not to. Same with my relationship at home. Um, but yeah, stress. I don't handle it that well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure everyone would relate. Yeah, everyone would relate, man. Like for me, I don't handle it well either. And I don't think and I was saying just in game day this week, it's like you could try and get more efficient, but that's not going to fix your problem. Like you need to create time. Time is the answer. And when you've got time, it's almost like an instant relief, right? Like what's it like for you when you're super busy and you put that person on to relieve you? What's that feel like?
Yeah, great, scary, good. Um, it was a lot scarier, honestly, before I was with the academy. I put them on. I'm going in blind, just hoping that work kept coming. Not having the not having the structure of putting somebody on and then searching for that extra work. Um, it was my latest tradesman I put on, Luke, a few months ago, and it's been great. We've been busy. At the start, it was a bit scary, but that was my most recent tradesman, and I had a lot more procedures in place to know what to do. I got off my ass and I went and spoke to real estate agents. I called builders. I could find work, and then as soon as you get busy again, now I'm realizing and kind of looking a few weeks ahead and going, I'm heaps busy now, but if I jump back on the tools and do this, I'm not going to be busy in 3 weeks, and I'm going to be stressed as again. So it's it's a lot different now. I feel like I can just go higher, find work, you know, not like that, not hard, not like that. So yeah, it's been
And
yeah,
sometimes it's just managing the schedule, right? Because I think another thing that I did for so long and speaking to so many guys, we have this feeling that we have to do it now. Like, so a client calls up and they say, "Hey, can you come out and fix my something that's not urgent? I've got a block drain, but it's sort of draining, but not fully. And we get this urgency where we have to fix it today. We have to fix it tomorrow, and so we book it in. But then something else happened that's way more important. All it takes is a phone call to that client. Hey, I'm just wondering. You can say no, but would it be okay to come on Friday? It's Wednesday now. Can I come on Friday because we've just had an emergency come in, and I really appreciate your job. Can it wait? I'm happy to still come out. And that usually, like 80% of the time, they're like, yeah, that's fine. Come on Friday. But because we put so much pressure on, like everyone's already there, so we can't move the schedule, it sort of puts extra pressure on us as business owners because we're the one that gets sucked back on the tools to do
yeah.
this like semi-block drain.
That happened an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Yeah, right. What happened? Tell us through the experience.
We've had something a bit more urgent come through, and some stock isn't coming till the day after we were expecting it. So I just called one of our great client of ours, and I just was supposed to be there at 7 a.m. and something more urgent came through, and I was just like, okay, and I just said, is it going to be okay? And she's like, yep. And it's just, yeah, it's more just having the confidence to just run the business instead of just go, oh, shit,
Got to do it all.
got to do that. Yeah, and now I can focus on what I need to do the Savo instead of stressing about tomorrow morning, making sure that I've triple booked something that I'm going to still get to it somehow. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's communication at the end of the day, isn't it? I think a client would prefer that you call them like an hour before and say, I'm really sorry this has happened. Is it okay if we do it tomorrow? Than to show up 30 minutes late because you try to get 2 jobs in. Yeah. So it's one of those things that when you're really stressed, though, you don't even think that that's even an option. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh
100%.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it changes as well. Like as the business grows, like for me now with the 2 companies and both have management and all that, but I still get into these places where I'm overwhelmed with all the things I got to do. But it just takes that simple stop, reflect. What do I have to do? Can it be pushed back later? All of our prioritization matrix that we talk about in the academy, just do that. It helps us understand actually 90% of this doesn't need to be done today. I push all of that to later, schedule it out so I know it's going to get done. And then I'll just focus on the 3 things that need to be done today and I smash them out in 30 minutes. I'm like, whew, feel good.
yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah. As long as you got a clear head, and yeah, it can be done with all the right people in place, and yeah, having that ops manager as well to lean back on. It's just
Very inspiring for the guys trying to grow up to that operational time freedom in the academy, man. Thanks for sharing. What is life like? Who is Mark when you're not stressed? Tell us about that. I want to just finish on that.
not stressed. When I'm not too busy, yeah, I like to try to get out and have a hit of golf. Get away up the coast with the wife. Yeah, just really when I'm not stressed, I think I look after myself a lot more. There's a lot more exercise and healthy and everything because there's more time, so you can do those things. But just golf if I can. But yeah, when I'm not stressed, yeah, I just get a lot more done. So much more productive instead of being at 110%. If you're around that 80%, you continue to grow.
So, what would your wife say who you are when you're not stressed to her? Like, who would she see you as?
Yeah, she would love to see more of the non-stressed Mark, which is happening. It's happening, but yeah, no, I'm not too sure. I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, yeah. What about your team? Like, what does your team see with non-stressed Mark versus stressed Mark?
um, well, I can be there to help out with the other things and think about their life outside of work a bit, I guess. Instead of pushing them to be at capacity, I can get to the warehouse and do the little bits and pieces that just make everyone's day run smoother. Um, help with the schedules for them, so then the days like today it's Origin Day, and I can make sure that they're not going to be working back late, so they can get to the wherever they want to go to watch the footy. And I think I think I think they would definitely notice, and the communication's better with them, and yeah, I'm not riding their ass.
Yeah, makes a big difference, doesn't it? And what about, we'll
Yeah.
finish on clients. What does the client see? What's the difference, do you think?
The communication. I definitely pride myself on communication. Um, I just know how slack tradies can be. So just being able to nurture them and treat every client the way, like, not every client's the same. So somebody will need to know every afternoon what's happening the next day, or so not being stressed and having that time is completely different. Getting back to them before they ask you to get back to them, is huge. Let them know what time we're going to be on site, or when the tiler's going to be there, or whatever. Or it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Just so much better, so much better.
Yeah, that's where mind-blowing experiences for the customer come from, isn't it? Where not people are rushing, just in and out, fight or flight mode.
Yeah, exactly right. And thinking forward and just really being there for what they need, and it just stops the mistakes before they happen.
Cool, man. Hey, any last words that you want to share with the community, any listeners in the trade industry before we wrap this epic show up?
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up hiring. Don't give up growing your business. It's so up and down, but yeah, it gives you so much. It's so great, and yeah, jump on with TSA. Definitely, I can't believe just the processes it's given me, and I just know what I'm doing now. I just know where to go if I've got an issue. There's so many people in there that can help out, and yeah, it just gives you the confidence of running a business massively.
Awesome, bro. No, thanks so much for sharing. Thanks for joining us, and I can't wait to catch up in a year and hear how your expansion's going. So thanks for being a weapon out there.
Thanks, Greg. Cheers, mate. Thanks for everything.
See you later. Thanks so much.
See you, mate.
Hey guys, it's Greg here. Thanks for listening to the podcast. For me, growing my trade business was extremely hard. It cost me millions of dollars, so much time trying to figure out what was the right way to do business, and emotionally feeling like I'm letting myself, my partner, and my family down by not knowing how to run my business properly. But I kept working hard and overcame those challenges and created systems and solutions that minimize those mistakes for myself and my team as we grew. Now, Response Electricians, go and Google it. We've got over 1,700 reviews on Google. We've won awards like Electrician of the Year and Service Business of the Year, both state and nationally. I sat on the National Board of Directors for Master Electricians Australia for 2 years, created a real solid awareness of the industry and the construction industry and the challenges you face. And the business runs autonomously over in Perth while I live my life working on the academy in Byron Bay. And I help people like you create freedom from your business as well. Now, having coached and trained thousands of trade business owners, we've developed the Freedom Fighters program. It's a guided pathway in a hybrid training and coaching system that provides you with the right information and steps to take to create freedom, not in years, but now. You can actually create more freedom from your business sooner than you think. So click the link and have a free strategy session with one of our academy experts to fully understand how you can create more time freedom from your trade business, generating more profit, better culture, and more growth in less time.